I don't want to take food away from anybody. If you like a cheeseburger, a McDonald's cheeseburger, a Diet Coke, which my boss loves, and you should be able to get them. If you want to eat Hostess Twinkies, you should be able to do that. But you should know what the impacts are on your family and on your health.
Thank you. Senator Wyden.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Sarah Overmall from CNN. Secretary Kennedy, you talked about how sugar is poison and how it's addictive. Is that the next step for you, looking at policies to reduce or even eliminate sugar in food products?
I don't think that we're going to be able to eliminate sugar, but I think what we need to do probably is give Americans knowledge about how much sugar is in their products, and also with the new nutrition guidelines, we'll give them a very clear idea about how much sugar they should be using, which is 0. We in the middle right now, very, very energetically revising the nutrition guidelines. The nutrition guidelines that were worked out during the Biden administration and that were supposed to be implemented on January 20th, there's a 453-page document that looked like it was written by the food processing industry. And we are going to come up with a document that is simple, that lets people know with great clarity what kind of foods their children need to eat, what kind of foods they can eat, and what's good for them, what's good nutrition. And we are collaborating with each other to make sure we get that out as quickly as possible.
The other piece of that.
I take a lot of vitamins. I can't even list them to you here because I couldn't even remember them all, but I take a ton of vitamins and nutrients.
I've got something for you from a nutritional basis here. You've seen the stuff that's been going on with RFK Jr. and all the stuff he said about autism, and I told you about my knee and how the problems I've had, and a lot of it comes back to what you're eating, what you're putting in your body. And so I have an interview coming up right now with Kim Bright from Brightcore that talks a lot about your gut, what goes on in your belly. So a little while ago, we talked some financial information. Now we're going to talk some health information. So your life experience seems, and on the health side, seems to mirror some of the stuff that RFK Jr. has been talking about with Maha and making people healthy again. And he wants to obviously shake up the system, which is going to cause the pharmaceutical and the food industry all kinds of discombobulation because what he wants to do. But what exactly makes him such a threat to the establishment?
Because he's telling the truth, because he's researched, he's a lawyer, he's tried cases that have environmental, problems that people had from other things. He's tried cases. He's seen the food supply. He's seen people that have problems mentally. It's been in his own family. He's also seen drug problems because he himself was a heroin addict. And so he has investigated and looked at, due to whatever his reasoning was, but he really understands, what has been put on us and what the solutions are. And so, that whole thing, I think, is, very important because we both come from, we're common sense. We want to know the truth. We want to know what works. And how can we really help people? I think it's a whole different approach. He's not about the bottom line. He's not about power. He's not about how can I screw you over and conceal things in your food and in the air and in the water to keep you sick. So then now we can get you on the big pharmacy, drugs and everything, so they can make lots of money there. And it's all around, it's all tied together. It's catch-22. And I'm the same thing. It's like when I saw the truth, you can't shut your eyes from the truth, Ben.
Well, it seems like the entire cabinet has been put together to do just like that. I always tell people when I'm on my show, it's like watching a snow globe. And right now, the Trump's cabinet is just shaking up this snow globe. And so with Elon doing it on the financial end, and then RFK Jr. hopefully we haven't even seen him get going really yet in terms on the health end. How do you see this entire administration and the cabinet helping to root out corruption? Maybe not just so much in government, because we've seen that, but in the health industry and in the food we eat.
Well, they stepped in a big pile of doo-doo, that's for sure. I mean, they didn't walk onto a red carpet. This has been going on for a long time, this corruption. And so it truly is a swamp. And they are in quicksand, a lot of areas, and they are having to really, climb out of it. So it's going to take some patience from all of us. We need to support them completely because it boils down to this, from my opinion, Barry. If you really bring it down to the simplicity, like I was talking yin and yang, if you look at the people that are in the pharmaceutical corporations and in the big, other corporations that they've been trying to just keep everybody sick and make more money off of us because we need more surgeries, we need more drugs, we need more this, more hospitals built, whatever, instead of looking at what caused it in the first place, what's the root cause, which the other side looks at. It really boils down to what is their intent, what is their agenda, and what is the outcome. And the outcome that I see for all these years have been people getting sicker and sicker, and the statistics back me up. Kids are getting sicker. Kids are getting more autism. It just goes on and on. And so the whole thing here is there's one side that really wants to help people, truly, and there's the other side that wants to help themselves and keep themselves with the money. And so when it boils down, that's the simplicity of it. And whose side are you on? And I think we need to support the good side that wants to really help people, wants to get down to basics again, common sense, bring morals back, God, country, and family. The other side seems to want to tear all those apart, from what I can see. So we're really dealing with those two situations. And I think that Trump's team, this time he's put together a team that's really going to accomplish that. But like I said, they've got a lot of swamp to walk through. A lot of swamp. Right.
I'm sure you've got a lot to say about the food pyramid. RFK Jr. has exposed that corruption in the FDA. What are the consequences of Americans today based upon what we've been told for decades?
What are the consequences? Based on what we've been told from everybody, or just in general?
The corruption in the FDA.
Oh, from the corruption in the FDA. Oh my gosh. Let me pull out a whole long list here. We've got, we've got all the poisons that have been allowed in there, whether it's in our soils, on our plants, like herbicides, like glyphosates, for instance. That's in Roundup. That's the main ingredient in Roundup. There's actually more toxic chemicals than glyphosate in Roundup, but they don't talk about them. Nobody talks about them because those are the chemicals that make the glyphosate adhere to the roots of the plant, adhere to the plant itself, and go deep into the plant. And so those are embedded in our food supply. They've allowed that. They're toxic chemicals. And so, they've allowed to make children say, Mommy, can we have that? Can we have that cereal? That candy is brightly colored, not with beet juice, not with carrot juice. It's brightly covered with toxic chemicals. Okay, synthetic chemicals that are harming our gut, that are harming every organ in our body. They've put food additives in to make the food taste better and to addict us to foods that are fast foods, that are, the microwavable foods in the freezer section because people don't have time. Pull those out, throw it in the microwave. People don't understand microwaves, and the whole frequency of microwaves changes our cells too. So people really, if you get back, best thing you can do is cook over an open fire out, campfire. That makes the best food, but people aren't going to do that unless they go camping. But, gas stoves that Biden tried to outlaw, that's the best. Electric is not as good as gas. But these things with the FDA, they've allowed all these additives, poisons in our food supply. And the main thing that the FDA has concentrated on, there's a joke, Barry, that says The F is silent in FDA because they never really focused on the food. It's drug administration.
Okay.
That's where all the money went. That's what it supported. That's what got bought off. All the people in the FDA. Let's give you a little money here, give you a lot of money here. Close your eyes on this, close your eyes on that. And the food, just everybody. I mean, people kept saying, would you please certify this? Would you please look into this? We think it's toxic. No action on it in food. So we've been eating these toxic things in our food for so long, and it's affecting us, and you can see it in the disease rates. There's your statistics. You can see it in the decline of, kids being able to concentrate, energy in people. I mean, glyphosates affect our mitochondria. Our mitochondria is where there are little energy factories in our cells, and the glyphosate in Roundup kills off the mitochondria.
Okay,
Hello?
so let me stop you for a second. Glyphosates, is that the word? Like G-L-Y, glyphosates, is that what you're talking about?
Glyphosate.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a chemical that's in Roundup, and it's also found in another herbicide that they use for ponds. I think it's called Pond Master.
Okay.
And so those things are going into our water and our food supply, and they've been poisoning us. And because they're there, our whole area where it is the most important for us, where all our health starts, is our core. That's our gut. And we have what's in there, a little community. And these things that we've been talking about, all these synthetic chemicals and petrochemicals and everything that they've inserted into our foods, those kill off the good bacteria in our gut. Now, we've got a war going on constantly in our gut. And so you've got, as I mentioned earlier, you've got the yeasts and the molds and the funguses. And guess what? When you put in these toxic substances, they thrive in those. The bad guys thrive in those, and they take over our gut, and they cause bloating. They cause the body and the cells to hold on to toxins. So that's where a lot of people have weight from the bloating, from the gases that, like you put yeast in to make bread. What does it do? It makes the bread rise. Yeah, well, everybody's like this now, right?
Okay.
Think about it. So all these toxins are remaining in our body. Our water supply has been inundated with chemicals. And water is what helps carry the toxicity out of our body and carry the nutrients into our cells. Wow. Our oxygen, what we're breathing, they've been spraying crap in the skies, And so those heavy metals and everything are going into our bodies as well. And so everything is shutting down and doesn't operate normally with all of this inundation of chemicals and petrochemicals and heavy metals. So the first place that we can be responsible to clean up ourselves is our gut.
Wow. And
to make better choices and not continue to put in foodstuffs that contain these things. Get back to eating real food. They did a study. I'll give you a sidebar here, Barry. They did a study on people that ate all these ultra-processed foods and heavy chemicals on the foods. They changed their diet and went on to organic fruits and vegetables. For 6 days, they saw a 70% reduction in the glyphosates that were found in their urine. Wow. 6 days.
Wow. I mean, overall gut health, I've been learning because I played football, and when I was playing football, I was expending so many calories, I could literally eat a horse anything I wanted, and I would still be fine because I was working out 3 times a day between running and lifting weight and everything else. And then as we get older and you're not lifting weights and running and doing all these different things, you realize the life you had before is not the life you're going to lead anymore. And you mentioned that gut health was responsible for like 72% of your overall well-being. Why is it so critical? Obviously, you got your liver, you got your pancreas, you got your kidneys, and your intestines are down there. What damages the gut that causes problems with that?
Well, again, it goes back to what we're eating, what we're ingesting. And so when you eat bad things, that harm the body, whether it's, overindulging in sugars, or people are eating these artificial sugars thinking that they're helping themselves, that's worse. Eat white sugar. Don't eat these other things. They're chemicals. They alter your cells. They alter your tissues. They cause cancer. It's been proven. So the whole thing here is you have to pay attention to what you're eating, what you're drinking, and what you're breathing in. And as we age, because these things go in, they cause what's called free radicals. And what that is they can, they damage each individual molecule, and it's missing an atom. And so it bumps around into everybody else trying to steal it away. And it's an aging process. It's kind of like, you leave out something outside and it starts rusting? Well, that's what this is. We're rusting on the inside, and we're aging faster than we have to when we take these things in. And so when you take care of your gut, you're actually doing anti-aging approaches, because that gut, if you don't digest right, if you can't absorb your nutrients, if you're not getting the nutrients you need, the liver suffers, the heart suffers, the brain suffers, the kidneys suffer, the bladder suffers, sex organs suffers, everything suffers, pancreas. Then we have metabolic syndrome, we have obesity, diabetes, heart disease, all comes about from this. The gut is key. The gut is core. That is why I named the company Bright Core. You have to take care of your core. You want a bright core, and you do that by taking care of your core. And we do that in our food supply by paying attention to the core there, which is our soil. You have healthy soil, you have healthy plants. You have healthy plants, you have healthy animals. You have healthy animals, you have healthy people. It's a chain that's connected. So if we're not taking care of the soil, we're ending up eating things that are going to harm us. And not give us the nutrients that all our organs and our tissues and cells need.
So if you've had not even a lifetime, but if you've had a long time of eating bad, and now you say, you know what, I'm going to start eating healthy, and I want to heal whatever damage I've done, and I want to protect my gut in the future, what's the best way to do that?
Well, here's the thing. One of the most important foods that people can eat are fermented foods. And why is that? Fermentation takes a food and it breaks it down. It like pre-digests it. So you know about yogurt and kefir, and traditional societies around the world, they have pickles, homemade pickles, sauerkraut in Germany, homemade. I mean, I grew up making pickles and sauerkraut with my grandmother, and homemade. Now, the pickles and the sauerkraut that you get in the jars in the center of the stores, those don't have any live things, good things in them. You have to get it in a refrigerator section. Because all the good probiotics and the good bacteria that fermentation provides in breaking down those substances aren't there. They've been pasteurized out. So you make your own pickles, you make your own, sauerkraut, but the key fermented food that I've found in almost 50 years that I've been doing this is from Korea, and it's called kimchi. Now,
is that the red?
Yes.
It almost looks like
cabbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's made with cabbage and shrimp paste and chilies and garlic and ginger and all these other things. They've been eating this for centuries, Barry, and they have incredible health. They have glowing skin. Their hair is thick and shiny and beautiful because your gut plays a role in the hair and it plays a role in your skin. So you see this, but kimchi is king of fermented foods, and I'll tell you why. It has over 900 different good bacteria called probiotics. Probiotics meaning for life. Antibiotics means against life. When you take antibiotics, you kill off everybody, the bad guys and the good guys. And if you've been on a lot of antibiotics, that's your gut health going down the tubes. So the whole thing is, let's put probiotics back in. Let's build up the good guys. So kimchi has over 900 different strains of probiotics, and it has unique strains you don't find in any other fermented foods or any other food, period. So I concentrated on kimchi and teaching people how to cook or how to make kimchi every day. When I was counseling all these different people, I counseled over 15,000 people on their health through the years. And so a lot of people were like, ooh, Americans, I can't stand this smell. I can't stand this taste. Oh, I got to eat this. I'm not going to do this. So American taste buds are very different than Korean taste buds, especially if you've been eating this and your DNA and RNA has it in there for centuries, right? Ours doesn't. So we decided at Brightcore, let's take the king of fermented foods, the best thing you can take to turn your health around for your gut and start getting healthy again. Because when your gut gets in better order, you stop having these cravings. Your body sends signals to your brain that says, ooh, don't eat that thing. That's got chemicals in it. Don't eat that. Don't eat that. And all of a sudden, and even people that were been smoking and things everything changes when you start to change your diet. So what we decided to do is let's get kimchi in a capsule. So they can't taste it, they can't smell it, and they'll take it every day because it's convenient. Because Americans are spoiled, and they want an easy route rather than taking, an hour or two to make their own kimchi, and then they got to choke it down because it, So we came up with an easy way to get this into your diet. And I mean, there's so many studies out there in Korea. Because again, has longevity over there that show hair grows back, thickness of the hair shaft gets thicker. The follicles actually open up and allow that to happen where your hair's getting thicker because it's healthy again up there. Your hair starts to get not only thicker, but there's more hair on your head now, filling in bald spots on men. The gut microbiome just flourishes and prospers. The skin prospers. Obesity studies showing they measured the BMI and the waist circumference of people and also took fecal samples so they could monitor what happened in the gut. And let me tell you, these people took capsules. Everything got better significantly. Waistlines went down. BMI went down. All this taking capsules of kimchi.
Do you have anything special that we could offer, the Fanfare family if they wanted to try the Kimchi One?
Yes, I do. You can get 25% off your order of Kimchi One. We call it Kimchi One today using the code Barry. And what they do is they go to mybrightcore.com/Barry. And you'll get 25% off your order. But what we really like people to do is to call us because I'm an educator. That's why I started this whole thing. I had to educate myself and I had to educate others and to help them. And so we like people to call in 888-418-6738. That's 888-418-6738. Because that way we can help you. We can, talk to you and make sure this is right for you and, get to know you. And I think people these days really appreciate that one-on-one rather than, doing it by text or doing it, online or whatever. But it's up to everybody how they want to do it. But here's the other thing. When you call, not only do you get to talk to us, but we're going to give you up to 50% off of your order. And free shipping and a free bottle of vitamin D3, which is so important for overall health. And so call in 888-418-6738, and you'll get a great deal with that. And really start, that's the great start that, everybody needs to start putting that balance back into the body, the overall body. They're going to see incredible results and, start to put your foot on that path of health.
Well, Kim, sorry I didn't mean to take up so much of your time, but as we're starting to talk about being healthy, I want to make sure everybody can get as much information as possible. So thank you for taking 45 minutes or however long it was. Most people won't sit for that long, so I greatly appreciate all your time today.
Well, I greatly appreciate you and how you're helping people and how you're bringing the truth to people. And I hope you'll have me back. And I just enjoy educating people.
Thank you very much.